Hi everyone, it's Sue, and I wanted to spend some time doing our regular energy report. And what I was doing is I was preparing for it, and I soon realized that there is just so much that is going to be happening this month. It's a big month, and I know you're probably sick to death of me saying that. At the beginning of every month I say, oh, it's a big one. But this month particularly brings a lot of energy into bear, and so I really don't want to rush through any one of the themes that we've got. And I thought that what I was going to do was just release a couple of short videos where I talk through little themes. And then I have to be honest, I was sitting thinking, well, I probably need to go and put on some makeup and get myself all ready for a video. And I thought, we're talking about Venus in coming out of retrograde, and what better way to talk about Venus coming out of retrograde than just to show you how I am, who I am, without any of the makeup, without any of the lights and the cameras and whatever. So here we are, raw and edited, me just talking to you about what is happening right now, the big thing that's happening right now. So today's the 30th of June, and the big thing that has just happened is Venus has come out of retrograde. And we've been in a space over the last couple of months where one by one all the planets have gone into retrograde. You've heard about it, we've talked about it, all the planets have gone into retrograde, and Venus is finally, she's out of retrograde. She came out of retrograde on the 26th of June. So we've had a few days where where she is now stationed and she's now going direct. And it really is a big release that I thought I wanted to spend a little bit of time just talking about. So what is Venus? Well, Venus, Shukra in Vedic astrology, Venus is this very goddess energy. We talk about this goddess energy, very feminine, very soft, very sensual, very sexy. We've all heard it, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Venus is this energy where she is an exceptionally sensual, very abundant energy. We talk about Venus as governing everything to do with materialism. She governs the sensual things in life. Good food, good music, good taste, good clothes. Venus governs luxuries. She governs the really nice things. We talk about Venus as governing money, so the abundance, so anything that sparkles, anything that glitters, anything that's blingy, we talk about as having a very Venus energy. It is this energy of sensuality and abundance. And this energy has been in retrograde. Now, what else does Venus govern? She governs the sacral chakra, which is all about our relationships. It's anything to do with a sexual relationship. So therefore, my relationship with my parents, because I'm here because the two of them had sex, or my relationships with my siblings because they're here and I have a relationship with my siblings because guess what? My parents had sex again. My relationship with my lover, my relationship with my spouse, my relationship with my partner, again, a very sexual relationship. And then my relationship with my children, because they come about because of this very, very sexual energy that I have shared with my partner. So all of that energy is governed by this Venus energy. Venus also runs the second sign and she runs the seventh sign. She runs Taurus and she runs Libra. Now, what we have, I want you to imagine all of that energy that I've just spoken about, all of those things, whether it's the money, whether it's the beauty, whether it's the femininity, whether it's the abundance, whether it is the relationships with your parents or your children or your lovers or your spouse, that all of that energy has been under an enormous amount of pressure. It's been under an enormous amount of exaggerated energy over the last couple of months while she's been in retrograde. It has caused a lot of constellation, a lot of tension, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, as the normal flow that we expect or we anticipate from this energy has now gone into exaggeration. And so all of these issues, the sheer femininity, the sensuality, the way we earn our money, the ability to have luxuries or sensuality in our lives, have all been under pressure. Venus would govern our beauty salons, our hairdressers. It would govern the restaurant industry, the travel industry, the hospitality industry. All of this, it's been under an enormous amount of pressure. It has governed whether you've been able to get onto an airplane or whether you've been stuck stranded at an airport. All of this has been under enormous pressure as Venus has been in retrograde. Our relationships as well have all had this exaggerated energy as the flow has changed from what we expect, as there's been an enormous amount of pressure building up as Venus has been in retrograde. Now here's the other thing, is she has been in retrograde in the Vedic sign of Taurus, and Taurus's energy as well. It is all about earthy sensuality. Taurus likes things to stay the same. Taurus doesn't like change. Taurus is this energy that really likes to know that all the material things are taken care of and that there's enough money for the roof of my head and the food on the table. Taurus really likes sensuality, really likes good tastes and good food and good wine and good music. Taurus is very, very sensual, very, very earthy energy. So now what we've got is we've got this extreme build-up of pressure in a sign that is exactly the same energy. And you've got to believe that it's created almost like this backlog. It's almost like this gobstopper of energy that has prevented movement on any of those elements that I've just spoken about, from tourism to planes, to making money, to being in a space where your relationship is on an even keel. Everything has been under pressure. So what happened on the 26th of June is that Venus now stationed direct, and she's now resuming her normal journey. She is still in Taurus, and she's going to be in there for a couple of weeks still. And so although that extreme energy, that gobstopper that we've been feeling has moved, it hasn't moved entirely. And what we're now finding is that the release of the energy has now left us seeing what is left behind. And what is left behind is relationships that are a little bit fraught, relationships that are a little bit tense and a little bit irritated, exasperated, frustrated, angry with each other. Relationships that maybe used to be in a space where they were working quite fine. We're now in a space of, I've seen enough of you and I actually just need a break. Relationships where we were quite fine going in our normal rhythm, we're now finding ourselves irritated by the very sight of you. I had a woman who turned around to me the other day and she said, I'm irritated by this way he's eating. Just hearing him eat is driving me insane. That is this energy of Venus moving out of retrograde. All the huge things have been lifted, and now we're left with the debris that we've got to sort out. What it means as we move for the next 2 weeks, please, please, please pay attention to your relationships. All of them. The relationships with your lover, your spouse, first and foremost, because you know as well as I do that when we're irritated, they tend to be the first person who picks up on it. The person that we go to bed with is the person that we show very often our true self to. And so when we're irritated and agitated, and they're irritated and they're agitated, you gotta believe that it sets the tone for some very, very stressed feelings, conversations. So if you can be in a space where you just recognize you're in a space of stress and agitation and tension, and probably they are too, it has been an enormous gobstopper that we've had in our relationships that's now shifted, and we're left with the debris. Pay gentle attention to your relationships. Spend some more time connecting, more time communicating, more time just gentle touching with each other, just being together. Just get it back onto that even keel. And then once you've kind of like, molded and healed a bit of your relationship with each other, spend some time with the kids, spend some time with the family, spend some time with siblings and parents, because these relationships have also been under pressure. And bear in mind that this tension and this stress, that this is with us probably for another couple of weeks, and then it dissipates and it moves into a far more dynamic, far more energetic energy. It's not as stuck and grounded. It's just then moves into a far more dynamic and far more enjoyable space. One of the good things to do to pacify Venus when she's a little bit itchy is play some nice music, put on some, good music, maybe dance a little bit with each other, or by yourself, make some good food. Comfort eating is very good during this phase. Venus retrograde has really looked at the money. It's really put a lot of pressure on the money. And so you might find that some of your partners, you might find you are in a space where you're actually saying, what about the money? And you're experiencing some tension around the money. Where's the money stress? Be very gentle with yourself and be very aware that this situation that we've had with Corona has just been it's been humongous. So money stresses, don't be surprised if money fears and money stresses come to the fore and you find yourself in a space of mild panic or mild anxiety about where's the next bit of money coming in. Be aware that the panic is there, and then do the very Taurus thing, harness that very Taurus energy, which is practical, and look at things. Taurus's energy is a very practical energy that says, I'm not going to go, off into spontaneity. I'm going to be very, very clear, very logical. I'm going to be very practical about what needs to be done, and I'm going to be very disciplined and very focused in getting it done. Leverage that energy. So if you find that now that this gobstopper has been removed and it's leaving you in a space maybe of tension and anxiety around money, be compassionate, breathe, be in a space of gentleness with yourself, and then do the practical thing. Look at what needs to be done in terms of the bills, in terms of the budget, in terms of the money coming in and the money going out. Do the very practical thing, because this is what Taurus is asking. This is what Venus is asking as it moves through Taurus for the next couple of weeks. This is an energy here that says, thank goodness that we can get off and we can get out there and we can go back to beauticians, we can go back to restaurants, we can go back on a plane, hospitality, tourism, all of these things are indicated. But just remember, we're moving through Taurus. Be practical about it. Be very, very circumspect about it. This is not a time of just dashing out there because we've all had cabin fever. This is a space of being very, very practical. And I've spoken to some people who are saying that they're seeing the second wave of lockdown beginning to happen. This is this energy that says, wherever I am, just be aware I need to deal with this from a very, very practical perspective. If there is one energy that we are being asked to inhabit for the next 10 days, it really is practicality. What needs to be done by who and when? Now, we haven't had that ability to even navigate that territory for the last while. as Venus is now direct moving through Taurus, you're going to feel practicality coming back onto the charts. What needs to be done, by who, and when. And the whole focus is your relationships, your money, and being in a space where you allow yourself to receive comfort. Pacify, be gentle, receive the comfort, and just look after yourself. Really just look after yourself. The last word comes from Taurus, which says ground. Remember, Venus is a goddess energy, ground, earth, Mother Earth. For those of you who possibly can, get out and walk, get out into nature, get out and just ground your energy in this very, very strong space that we've got. So there you have it. This is what we are expecting for the next couple of days, is just be very gentle with yourself, be gentle with your loved ones, be circumspect with your money, be in a space where you're practical, and ground yourself. Now, as we move from here through to the 5th of July, we have a lunar eclipse coming up, and we have an event that is called Guru Purnima. Guru Purnima is where we honor the teachings, and you've got to believe that we are all being taught on a humongous level at the moment. There is just an enormous amount of teaching that is happening to all of us at the moment. So I'm going to be back with you as we move towards this lunar eclipse. This one's a very interesting one. Well, remember, we're in eclipse season. We've had a lunar eclipse, and then we've had it just come out of a solar eclipse, and now we have a lunar eclipse happening on the 5th of July. It has a very specific impact here, so I'm going to be back with you. Please make sure you tune in and you listen to what this particular lunar eclipse is about. So I will be back with you as we move to the end of the week. Until then, be gentle with yourself. Until then, look after you, look after your relationships, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.